Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Hazel Adams. Thank you for joining me today. Um, Today's video is part of the Great Shift series that I've been doing. And however, it's one that I didn't foresee needing to do, but it came to me very clearly today, this morning, that we're at a point of so much activity and chaos, so much upheaval on the geopolitical scene on the planet, corruptions being revealed on every level, in country to country dealings, in political dealings, in the celebrities, you name it, and all the seismic activity. There's so much activity that even though we know the shift is happening, it can feel very wearying. We can start getting tired. We can start feeling like, are we there yet? I just want to live on the planet where everyone has turned to unity and harmony and cooperation and good intention for all. And so it came to me so clearly that it's almost ridiculous. You know, I've taught conscious co-creation classes. Let's go back to conscious co-creation 101. The I am state is your stipulation. It is your decree of what your truth is going to be, what you're going to experience, and the lens you put your experience through, which is how you experience it. So I am in a world that is shifting. I am in a world that hasn't completed the shift yet. I am in a world where things seem to be getting worse and worse. When is the change going to happen? Going back to the basic, you go back to, all right, what am I stipulating? What am I saying I am? How about I am in the new earth? The shift has already happened. I am living in the new earth. Now, this is not naive self-delusion. We'll talk about this in a moment. But that I am, the statement of where you are, that's where you are until you realize you're not. So the other part of this Conscious Co-Creation 101 is an exercise that actually Seth talks about in one of his books, and I certainly used in the classes I taught, which is you take a few minutes once a day or several times a day to lightly, playfully, not trying to make anything be a certain way, make anything happen, lightly, playfully set aside what appears to be true in your environment, what appears to be the truth, set that aside temporarily and get the feeling that you have already shifted to the world where the shift has already happened. I am in the new earth where the shift has already happened. Sit quietly and get the feeling of that. Now, when you do this, two things. What you're doing is, first of all, you're placing your vibration, you're helping your vibration be there so that you can anchor where it is true. But second of all, if you do that, you will find, and maybe you just did, we'll do it again here together, you will find that when you actually get the feeling of, oh, the shift has already happened, I'm in the new earth, it changes the context in which you see everything that's going on. Instead of, oh, the world is a corrupt place and it's getting worse and worse and all of these things, what you start seeing from that vantage point is, I'm in the new earth and everything that doesn't vibrate and match there is getting just brought to the surface to be released. It's corruption that's being released. And what it really is echoes of what has been. And Paul Selig's guides say something, now that I think of it, to that effect, that you're seeing the results of what has been, but that's not how it is. That's not where you are. I will liken it to like when a jet goes across the sky and there's a contrail. At first, the contrail is solid. The jet is already gone. But then as it gets broken up by the air currents, it breaks into the little puffs and the pieces until it's gone. That's what we're seeing. We've already made the shift. We can already be on the new earth and we can already know we're on the new earth. And so we're just seeing the contrail breaking up of what has been the reality that we lived in. Another example would be, say, a wooden ship breaking up on the rocks. Well, the ship already hit the rocks. It's a done deal. That ship is over. Now, though, you're watching the breakup of it. It's already a done deal. That's not, you're not still in it. It's done. But you're watching the breakup. And interestingly, as you watch the breakup of that ship as it gets battered and just sits there getting pulled apart, you start seeing all the little details of what was in that ship. You start seeing all the spars and maybe the cargo and the nails and screws that held it together and the pieces that made that ship. In other words, as it's breaking apart, you start seeing the guts of what was in there. And that is what we're seeing now, you all. We can accept that we are in the new reality. The shift has happened, and what we're seeing is the breakup on the rocks of what has been. And of course, the details of that are being exposed. And there's, again, as I've said before, and there's more to come. So let's just take another moment to reiterate, and you can do this exercise with yourself once a day, twice a day, as many times as you want. But the point is, you don't focus. You're not trying to make things happen. They've already happened. All you need to do is put yourself in resonance where they've already happened. So you sit quietly. You decide, you choose to put aside what appears to be the events that are going on in the news and around the world. You just put those aside, just temporarily, so it's playful. And then you get the feeling that you inhabit. I am inhabiting a world. I am in the world that has already shifted. I have already shifted. I am in a world that has already shifted. And get that feeling. Go ahead and take a moment if you want to right now. And you can hit pause to give yourself more time. What you may have noticed as you did that is, as soon as your mind takes a look around at whatever you've been seeing on the news or currently are seeing, it's in a whole new light now, isn't it? It's in a new context now. It doesn't look like the world is going to heck and getting worse anymore. It's like, oh, I see what this is. I'm in the new world, and what doesn't belong here is breaking apart on the rocks, and I can see all the details of what was there. So what came to me as all of this was coming to me as something that needed to be talked about this morning is the solar flash and the maybe 3 days of darkness, whatever that is or whatever that looks like. Those events aren't what make the change happen. The majority of us, or the energetic weight, because we are aware of what's going on, the energetic weight majority has already shifted into the new earth. We're in it. And so then the solar flash happens, the 3 days of darkness happens, so that people who haven't consciously been in it have an easier time raising to it, like changing the collective human consciousness en masse. So in other words, it's not that the flash in the 3 days causes it, it's that it can happen because we've already done it. Sort of like a cherry on top of a sundae. You know, you put your ice cream in a bowl, etc., and then you put your sauce on and your cherry. Now it's a sundae. I think a lot of us have been trying to sort of put the cart before the horse. No, we go to where the new earth is already here in effect. We're in it. And then the solar flash and the 3 days can happen. Now, there's an effect that I think of as the dovetail from all my years working as the transformational healing practitioner. That when you make the vibrational shift, whatever physical reality you were inhabiting, whatever was true there, just starts manifesting the details of the new reality. Like you bring it in, it kind of comes together and merges, so that normally it's pretty seamless. It looks like it happened a certain way. So what I'm getting at here is, as you put yourself and realize, I'm in the new earth, the shift happened, I'm there, we're there, you actually accelerate the appearance of breakup of the things that no longer fit and the details. Things happen more and more quickly, which accelerates the coming of what I'm going to call the final solar flash and perhaps 3 days of darkness event. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. This Sunday, June 8th at noon, I will be doing one of my live spirit talks. If you would like to join us for that, it's an hour of sort of doing this kind of thing, talking about a subject, but then more interactive with questions and answers. If you'd like to join us, I'll leave a link below to register for that. They're free, or pay what you can. It doesn't matter. But in any case, I hope something I said was helpful to you today. Please click like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Have a most magical day.